I just want to congratulate Mr. Bob Lampione. This is Bob Lampione, the 1993 concourse winner. We make fun of this guy, we abuse him, we give him the bada bing whenever we can, but he did a heck of a job buffing us out. And even though he didn't place well in the flying, congratulations on a beautiful finish. As we speak, just to show you what an intelligent man he is, as we speak, he's busy home sanding the paint off of the plane, as per the windy videos. And just some pictures Joe Ortiz sent in from the Nats that just took place. Now, speaking of the concourse, speaking of it well, just look for this guy in the near future near future, maybe next year. His planes are absolutely gorgeous. He's been in the front row twice. Jim Borelli. He will be a future concourse winner. Here's a nice picture of Joe Ortiz in his Magnum. And a nice shirt, Joe, by the way. Very conservative. And thanks for running Flushing for, I think this is 7 years in a row. What a guy. Hate to see you go, Joe, but you deserve a break. Speaking of future concourse winners, this for sure is going to be one of them. Mike Rogers, affectionately known as the Muffy. Anyway, his planes are always in the front row, beautifully finished, and obviously it won't be long. One of these years, if it takes forever, Mike, we'll get you a concourse trophy. Don't worry. Even if I have to jury rig the balloting. He's a well-deserved person if he does win, too. Now, speaking of somebody who deserves an ass whipping, anyway, there's my 8th place finishing. Never to be forgotten tweener Cardinal. Anyway, more about this later. Don't forget this photo. Later on in this video, there's going to be some critical information coming across. This is going to be a good video. Bob Barron and his humbug, Super Tiger 60. Bob Hunt, I think he finished 4th this year. Bob Hunt. Hey Bob, you're getting old. I wonder who looks older, him or Gieske? Tell me the truth, who looks older? We'll have an old contest. Maybe I'd win. Now these are the Moscow twins. You've probably seen these on a previous video. Well, you've seen them for sure if you watched video 30. They're actually, they think they're father and son team, but they're actually identical twins. This one got old and this one never got old. This one flies a little bit better too, I think. Anyway, these are really two dedicated people. Come to all local contests. They're hammering away, and I don't suspect it'll be long before both of them will be moving right up the ladder. Now these were two of the models that were flown at the 93 Nats, identical models, take-apart models. You could actually take the wings off this one, put it on this one, and they could fly each other's plane. Kind of a neat thing. If you have any question about this, call up Big Art and get the information on this model. Looks like a promising concept. They have one for a tuned pipe now too, a mold. Al Reed, who made a really nice copy of Bill Suarez's PM, Super Tiger 60, Big Jim 60. More about this later on in the video. You'll be hearing more about this whole idea. We're going to discuss this later on in the video. Pay attention. Don't fall asleep. Mike Ravitch of Puxatawney, Rochester, New York. Honey O Falls. I always call them Bumblebee Falls. Anyway, Mike Ravitch. If you see the nice catalogs you get from Pro Stunt Products, he's the man that does the printing. Call him up and give him a kiss. Steve Busso, the man who refused to deliver the Cardinal plans on time. I don't know what to tell you. It's the best plans ever drawn. Best plans on earth. You're okay, Steve. I don't care what Bill Suarez says about you. Yeah, you heard me right. I don't care what Bill Suarez says about you. Now we're going to reference in later in this video to, and this is a good example, this is Bob Parker. He made a Paul Walker impact plane. Only this one has a Super Tiger 60 in it, not the tune pipe. And what we're going to do later on in the video is compare the tune pipe aspect of what we're doing here with the 60 aspect. Be an interesting video. Stay tuned. Dan Winship, and boy did he have a beauty here. Dan Winship. He usually sets up all the things so we can do the Mount Comfort team trials, and you'll be seeing the team trials. Unless you call me up and say, forget about the team trials, who cares? I'll send you the team trial video too. That is the nose section of Billy Werwich's plane. You notice he's using an OPS, of course, a rear exhaust flexible tubing header. He did have some problems with a crack in the header early in the week. I think he got them resolved. So in this video we want to compare tune pipes to 60s, and just trying to start off with some of these nice photos. I want to get these photos on the from the album and return Joe's album to him. So we'll run through the rest of these photos and we're going to get into our discussion part of this video. How about a little thanks to all the people who judged and kept score? Shireen ran the event, Dave Cook, everybody. How about a round of applause? Hey! Did a good job, did a hell of a job.
Like a rainbow.
All right, enough photos. Thanks to Joe Ortiz for the photos, obviously. Anyway, I want to bring up a very valid, good point here. There's an awful lot of people out in the real world that have a lot of experience running tune pipe engines, and hey, I'm one of them. There's also a lot of people out in the world that have a lot of experience running Super Tiger 60s, and I'm one of them. Now, the reason I bring this up is there's clearly in my mind there's a split in the event right now as to which of the two ways are worth pursuing, the tune pipe way versus the 60 way. It seems like everywhere you go, and this past weekend I happened to fly the Super Tiger 60 package, and the reason I laugh at Bill Suarez who, is because he's doing the same thing with a Super Tiger 60. But there seems to be advantages to having a tune pipe, and there definitely are disadvantages. And there definitely are advantages to having a Super Tiger 60. And when I say a 60, what I'm really saying is a Tiger 60, a Tiger 46, a Tiger 51, one of the motors that are timed to run at a lower RPM, normal prop pitches from 5 to 6 inches. You really have a split. Now, advantages, tune pipe advantage. And this is controversial. I don't expect a lot of people are going to agree with everything I say, but this is how I feel. In the beginning of the tune pipe program, this word, every time you opened the magazine, you saw this word, quiet, 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 quiet. And at one time, Super Tiger 60s were allowed. At one time. If you go to this year's Nationals, and you think all the tune pipe planes were quiet and all the Tiger 60s were loud, well, I have to disagree with you. Some of the tune pipe packages, not all of them, but some of them, were extremely loud. Buzzing and screaming and like the shredding of paper and going lean. Some of the Super Tiger 60s, in comparison, were very quiet. Now, the best one, and the reason I showed this picture, Bob Parker's Super Tiger 60 powered impact. Here's the plane Paul Walker has, same impact with a 60, same impact. We're not trying to judge which flies better, but there are things that you have to consider, and I want to compare them. The reason I can compare them is I have the same plane that I've had a Super Tiger 60 in and a tune pipe. In fact, I've had a Super Tiger 60 with a tune pipe that got second at the Nats. This is an important concept to remember, and one of the reasons I'm putting this on video is I'm kind of disappointed myself. In the beginning of the tune pipe program, I thought every year the pipes would get quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter, and they haven't. They've gotten louder and louder and louder and louder. They haven't gotten any quieter. And I thought we were at the end of 60 development, and we really weren't. There's still things to be learned, things to be tried. You can still win major contests with a Super Tiger 60. So I want to try to lay out what I feel are some of the advantages and disadvantages back and forth. The quiet loud. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you consider the sound of an 11,000 RPM Boley screaming its lungs out to be quiet, I don't know. I'm not going to award any points here. This is going to be like a question mark one. And certainly I've spoken to some of the people that judged at the Nats, and they said, gee, there were some pretty obnoxious tune pipe setups there that were really super loud. Not all of them, but some of them. So just try to balance, keep in mind exactly what we're talking about here. Another thing, and this comes into it for an awful lot of people, advantage, cost. Advantage. I don't know that by the time you buy all the hardware that you need 10 to 15 carbon propellers, a couple of tune pipes, a couple of headers, and certainly more than one motor, or one or two Super Tiger 60s, the equivalent amount of wood propellers. I don't know, and I really can't award any points to this. This is kind of a trade-off. You certainly could spend upwards of $1,000 to set up and have backup parts for a tune pipe plane. You certainly could spend it for a 60. But to consider what the costs are. Certainly not equal on everything. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage? Okay, one of the clear winners here. Clear winners. Wiping off the plane. Yes, and I'm the first one to admit tune pipe planes are cleaner. Disadvantage? Disadvantage. So we're going to give the 60 a disadvantage here and an advantage to the tune pipe. So now we have, at least in my way of thinking, one advantage. Tune pipe. The fact that you need many props. Okay, I would award an advantage. You probably need more than one prop with a 62, but you need less. So I'd award a half a point. I'm not trying to make a contest out of this. I'm just trying to make it interesting to pick my philosophy out here and pick out the things I've learned. Some of the other things to consider. Okay, the cost, the quiet, the cleanliness. Okay, one of the things we've always heard a lot of is whip up. Is that the way you spell it? Is it whip, pup, wee pup, wop up, whoop up, whip up? Whatever this is, you know what I'm talking about. Wind up. And I certainly, in the beginning of the tune pipe program, thought that was the only way to go, and I would get all of my whip up cured by having a pipe on a plane. Well, that really didn't prove to be true. We're 7 years into this, really 6 years into it. In 6 years, the 60s can control a whip up every bit as good. Suarez's, why do we bring this back? Billy Suarez, who? His whip-up control is every bit as good as Paul Walker's as far as I'm concerned, if that was the only factor. Okay? I don't think there's a big advantage, and I'm being honest about this, and I'll probably write something for Pamper about this. What I'm saying is, in the beginning, I thought the tune pipes were going to be quieter, cleaner, and what I thought would happen every year that went by, they'd get better and better and better and better and better and better and more reliable, to the point that right now, 7 years into this program, we'd have motors that were dead reliable, props that you only needed one prop to dial a plane in, and it would start to become a system where everything would get better and better and better and better and better. Well, in my eyes, and here are my eyes, that didn't happen. What happened is in my case and in several other people's cases, is we spent an awful lot of money, an awful lot of time to try to take advantage of this. This is the one clear winner. Everything else, you can kind of wonder about. Is some of these things advantages, disadvantages, motors, and whatever. This is what I see. Tune pipes, disadvantage. Okay? What happens with tune pipe motors, you go to set the needle and it's critical. So what you do is you try to use a tack and you set it at 10/8 at 70 degrees. And what happens? When it becomes 80 degrees, it's not 10/8 anymore. The break point where the motor is braking changes. This is almost a bad thing in my eyes to do, unless you have unlimited time to work out all the variables. This, to me now, a disadvantage. And the reason I want to bring this up right now, I want to bring a very valid point up. Very valid point. Now we've watched on this set of videos, this set of shop videos and entertaining flying videos, mileage changes. With a pipe, it's constantly changing. It's not set in stone. And what happens at an event, now we just had an F2B event, which I won. One of the reasons that I won, and one of the other competitors was at a disadvantage, is he couldn't seem to get the mileage straightened out. The pipe was running out of fuel, then running overtime. Running out of fuel, running overtime. In F2B, it's a very difficult thing to do. Now, it doesn't mean it's impossible. Difficult means Paul Walker, Ted, Bob Hunt, Bill Werwidge, whoever you want to consider to be super experts, that have the resources, the time, the energy, and the friends. Now, Bill Werwidge did a lot of development. He helped Bob. Bob did a lot of development. He probably helped Ted, who in turn helped. If you're in this loop, of people that are sending you motors and information and the latest and greatest, it becomes less difficult. But if you're in Saskatchewan, this can be a major problem, and it's something that you think about every minute of the time you're flying. Is it going to run out of gas? Is it not going to run out of gas? Now, I don't want this to sound like I'm anti-pipe. I think the pipe is a great innovation, and more specifically, Paul Walker has taken full advantage of it because he has an unlimited amount of talent, resources to put into it, and practice time. And I think, in all honesty, Paul would have won the same 4 nationals if he had a Super Tiger 46 or a Max side exhaust or whatever. I don't think the pipe, there's people that would like you to believe that the reason he won is because he had a pipe. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Zhang Deng never had a pipe and he won twice in a row. Maybe Paul will win twice in a row now with a pipe or without a pipe. But I know Paul is a good example. Paul won with a 40 FSR, side exhaust, tongue muffler. He won with an ST60, and he won with a VMAX. Okay? There's no question in my mind, if you look at this, what it seems to tell me is that Paul won, not the motor. Paul's setup, I don't know, and you could talk to Paul about it. His setup, he's been pretty honest about it, but I don't see an awful lot of people that have the reliability that Paul has. So I don't know if he's in a class by himself and he has the time, energy, money, resources, and he's in the loop of people that get the latest and greatest information. He can take advantage of this. Well, I think that's really great. But here's the point, and this is where I'm going to move this right off the camera right now. Average guy. And this is what we're trying to help. These videos aren't here to help Paul Walker. They're not here to help Billy Werwich. These people already know what they're doing. Average guy. Average guy has limited practice time. I think advantage 60. You go out there, the needle won't change, the plug won't burn out, you won't have to adjust anything. You'll maximize your practice time. If you have limited practice time, you get an advantage with a 60. My book. This is my opinion. If you happen to have, if you have a night shift job and you live in an area of the country where you can fly every day, well, heck, not much of an advantage. But it's an advantage if you live in Jersey and you can only fly. Let's use the example that I ran into this year of working on my old house here and working day and night and only being able to get out a very limited amount of time. Well, what happened to me is I didn't have unlimited time. I had limited time to prepare for the Nationals. And in that limited time, I had X amount of practice flights. Well, of the X amount of practice flights I had, maybe 2/3 of the X were devoted to development. Trying different motors and venturis and props and combinations and stuff. So I really went to the Nationals with 1/3 of X. And X wasn't that good to begin with. And there's the result. Now, the team trials are coming up. For me, and with my limited practice time, what my intention is to fly to 60. I have this limited amount of time. I don't have to spend a lot of time figuring out which prop and mileage and header and fuel and glow plugs and everything are going to be on there. For me, there'll be a little bit of an advantage having a 60. There was a little bit of an advantage this week in Coxsackie. The needle setting didn't change for the whole weekend. Other people were running overtime, undertime, having all kind of problems. That was a factor. When you have limited time, 60 is an advantage. Now maybe you're like me, and maybe you can do this same thing, and you can make up a windy chart. And your windy chart might be different than mine. You can make one for Bill Rich, you can make one for just about anybody. On this side, a windy chart. Now, Big Jim is good at doing this. My record with a tune pipe is I have a second, and that was a 60. I have a 7th and an 8th and a 20th. And with normal average 60s, 5th, 4th, 3rd. And there's several 5ths and several 4ths. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to look at this little flow chart here, and I have to say, well, what looks better here? I don't know. Where did I come out ahead or behind? Did I do better with the pipe or without the pipe? What you have to do if you're Bill Rich or if you're, who knows, Mike Rogers or Bob Barron or whoever, you have to make up the chart and see if there's a tendency here. Now, you have to be kind of a football coach. Is the tendency that I have the time, energy, money, resources, and technology to pursue the pipe program, or was I better off with this? Now, if I do this chart for Bob Gieske, it's going to be obviously favoring normal motors. If I do this chart, for Bob Hunt, it's going to obviously be favoring normal motors. Bob Hunt's record with normal motors is awesome, and with pipes is less than awesome. It's not meant to embarrass anybody. It's not meant to... Paul's is kind of a balanced thing. He's kind of won both ways. But if you look at the record to me, you have to balance it, and it's a balancing thing. And when you come out in public and you say things like this, you piss people off. That's what happens. And they're always trying to slant the thing toward a 60 or toward a tuned pipe. Well, what I'm trying to do is give a balanced presentation here and let you, the person who's looking at this video, decide where do you sit in this chart and what would be an advantage for you or a disadvantage. What I'm saying is I don't think anybody out there, I don't think there's anybody on the planet that's not familiar with motors and familiar with all the idiosyncrasies of motors that can just go out and put a tune pipe setup in his plane and fly. There's maintenance involved, there's extra expense, there's extra weight. There's 3 or 4 ounces of extra weight. So what I'm trying to give is a little balanced presentation. I know out there half of the people watching this are moaning and groaning and everything, but what I tried to do, I looked at Bob Parker, a good example. Let's do this. Walker and Parker. Now, Paul won, obviously world champion, Nats champ. Bob Parker's an up-and-comer. But I looked at Bob Parker's plane and I said, the sound. Myself, I liked the sound. That had the Allison Spitfire sound, and Paul had a buzz. Well, Paul didn't have to wipe his plane off, and Bob did. So I started making this little chart up. I tried to go back and forth, and say, and what I came away thinking was that you could be happy with either system. You could be happy either way, but you're only going to be happy if you evaluate the thing correctly and look at it honestly and decide which of the systems is going to suit your needs the best. And I think, having said that, the team trials will be here in 2 or 3 weeks. I'll try to shoot some video as I prepare for the team trials. But I'm sitting here right now and I'm trying to evaluate it in a way that makes sense. And I'm trying to be honest about it and pass that information on to you in a way that will help your program. Not in a way that will sell you pipes or 60s or try to convince you to do everything I do, but in a way that will help. And anytime you try to help somebody, you run the risk that you're going to piss them off. And sometimes I piss a lot of people off, but sometimes I help a lot of people too. Now, I just want to run today's mail. Yesterday we did that nice discussion of tune pipe versus 60. I'm sure I'll get some mail about that. Looking at today's mail, I got these nice pictures from Aaron Little showing this, and I just want to show these. There's only a few photos today. This is an old Aries that's been rebuilt. It was built in 1965 from an Ambroid kit, rebuilt in the winter of '72, flown February 7th, 1993. Aaron Little from Aberdeen, North Carolina. Now, Gary Lutz from Maryland sent in some construction photos as he was building his PM. I'll just run these right by. And I appreciate anybody that sent in the photos. He brought this plane up to one of our get-togethers. I remember seeing it in silver. In fact, one of the pictures he sent in here, it's in silver. But it's always nice, and I always look at the pictures real carefully, try to pick up different people's building techniques. And you can see he's building a geodetic tail, much like, I think he said he built it right off the video. A lot of different ways. Here's the plane in raw wood. A lot of different ways to skin a cat here. A lot of different building techniques. This winter we'll be getting a lot of them on video. These are also pictures that Gary sent in from the Harrisburg meet. Jose Modesto's ship. Mike Haravich's Acromaster. Jim Damarell's Lieutenant. Mike Rogers' Little PM with a Tiger 46. Good example of somebody who hasn't experimented with pipes and yet has still done very well. Mike Rogers, he was 9th in this year's Nats. An interesting plane that was built by Dave Knoll. I got to fly this a few years ago. A good flying 60 ship. And of course, here's the real rivalry, the big East Coast rivalry this year since since John and Billy Suarez love each other so much. John DeTavio, Billy Suarez, two of the real class acts in the world of stunt. Now, while I have this picture of John in front of me, I just want to say something. John has really made a part of my life possible that wouldn't otherwise be possible by helping me with these renovations and doing things that basically saved my life. We had that tragedy that happened while I was away at the Nationals, and he's since rescued me from the jaws of oblivion, so to speak. Anyway, we're working on more renovations here, and not many more photos here. I just want to say something nice about John. Thanks a lot, guy. You're okay. I don't care what Billy Suarez says about you. Now I'm just going to close out with this picture. I guess it's worth remembering that, at least as far as I'm concerned, I made an error in judgment this year at the Nationals and didn't have the time to really develop the new plane, to do all the props and do all the things that need to be done with a tune pipe setup to get it dialed in. And I think the results speak for themselves. I don't want to lead anybody to believe that it was anything other than a mistake on my part. And sometimes when a person is big enough to make a mistake, you can respect the rest of their opinions. Had I flown a 60 ship, I think I would have done a lot better. I'll leave it to you, and we'll see at the team trials if I can move up from 8th. All right, we're back in the shop, and I'm looking at my proverbial old tradition here. This is what's left of my Air Force for the year. I've brought some of the stuff over to the house, and I guess if you've been watching the videos from time to time, you can see little by little the stuff is starting to creep into the new shop now. And what I've tried to do is I've tried to right now focus in, and this is an important concept. I think that there are other people that could learn from this, that's for sure. Right now I have to kind of focus all my attention onto flying. I really don't have the amount of time or energy before the team trials here to develop anything new. I really just need to bear down, get this 60 ship flying as well as it possibly can fly, and get as many consistent practice flights as I can. And this is basically a program that Jimmy Casale used to win 4 Nationals. Get a ship that's relatively easy to trim and fly, and practice, 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 practice. And I'll kind of use his approach, I guess, for the next, let's see, we have almost 3 weeks, 2 weeks to go, and see what I can learn in that time. But the big lesson of all is that knowing I have a limited time, I'm going to go with the 60 for this part of the program. Doesn't mean we're going to eliminate pipes out of our program, but what it does mean is we really want to focus our energy and attention on getting as many clean, reliable practice flights as we can right now. And we don't have the time. We've kind of put this guy on the back burner. We'll work with him more. I guess you can see here in the photo I've made some longer elevators, some elevator extensions. Had some talk with Big Jim about maybe getting more corner out of the plane by extending the elevators and cutting the flaps. We just don't have the time to do that kind of thing right now. Right now we're going to focus in on old tradition. He's a 7-year-old plane, Tiger 60, a Big Jim 60 in tank. And after the Middlesex contest, which Suarez handily won, by the way, I borrowed his muffler, and his muffler is on the plane right now. Okay, enough discussion. Going to end this part of the tape right here and get back to working on the house tonight. Just playing some old videos here, trying to get some information off it that I can use on my 60 guy here. I have good notes for these planes, but what I do need, I need to make up some props, and that's what I'm going to work on tonight. Now, what really neat happened at the Nats, and I just want to mention this on the tape, Derek Berry found a magazine from 1976 that I'm on the cover of. He found a crystal clear copy of the magazine. He sent it to me in exchange for a video. And has my whole life story in there, and what a great road racer I could have been if I would have paid more attention. And actually, one of the things it describes is how I was working on making up a set of headers for this big 3-cylinder Suzuki. But anyway, thanks a lot for that, and going to start moving on to our next project here. Just wanted to thank him on the video. Boy, it's nice having a TV in your shop that you can play back videos. Now, one of the things I'm trying to take advantage of, I'm going back to when all of these ships had 60s in them, and I'm trying to pick out things. All right, today is my 48th birthday, and we're going to go upstairs and see what this lovely family of mine has planned for. Ah, let's go see. Come on, James. Let's go see what the family has planned. Da-da, da-da. Hold the battery. Come on, family. He's 48 years old today. Oh my God.
Wait a second.
He's 48 years old.
Oops. Daisy and Rob, let's go.
Come on.
Now.
Where's my hat?
Wait a minute, Dad.
Oh my God. Where's my hat? Now listen. Future world champion Paul Walker sent me this hat. This is his crown.
Fell off the B-17.
Fell off the B-17 as it waited on a wing over. Ron Connors, don't you dare moon us. Okay, it's my birthday. For anybody that's not interested, hey, too bad.
Wait, I'm pretty good.
Come on! You guys are supposed to love me. I give you the best years of my life. Okay, here we go.
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Mom, you're
Happy birthday, dear Wendy. Happy birthday to you. I'm famous. Real men shop at Home Depot.
I'm still doing anything.
Real men use duct tape instead of underwear.
And don't work at airlines, we know.
Older than dirt? See what happened here? It's not working.
Look at another failure of equipment
Put it
here.
in, it's not working.
Hey, the cake's falling over.
Wait. 2 candles? Well,
Now this is what you get when you come in 8th at the Nats. Your whole family boycotts.
one's for being old and one's for good luck.
Who's old?
That was good.
I want respect. I'm going to build a B-17, but I want
You can't get it
respect.
unless you give it, so forget
What the
it.
hell are you putting on me here? I'm wearing a bra.
That's next.
Double cone head.
Oh, my daughter, what are you doing to me? I can't see
Payback's
anything.
the best idea.
Paybacks are a bitch, man. Here we are preparing for the team trials, and this is the kind of respect they get. Let me see what I look like. Let me see what I look like.
There you go.
Let me see. Get out of here.
It's very
There we go. It's not flashing.
All right.
No, no.
The cake! You get the cake!
It's sweaty.
It's all mushy. It's all mushy. Oh my God! The whole thing's tipping over.
That cake stand was bought at Home Depot.
Real men don't eat mushy cake. Give me a napkin, Karen. People are gonna laugh at this when they see it. They're gonna think I'm not a serious stuff like Gerald Shamp will be pissed off. Now, come on. I have an image to make.
Oh, wait a second, it lost a candle
Do
here.
you think Paul Walker has to put up with this bullshit?
Okay, you may make a wish.
Okay, my wish is, here we
No,
go.
no, 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 no. Don't tell anybody.
Here we are. Okay, it's a secret. Here it is. Okay. It's a secret. I'm going to the team trials and I'm going to kick their ass. Okay, there's this. Now it's a secret. I didn't tell anybody.
Okay, light your candles.
Hey, world champion!
cake's falling over again.
The floor's in here.
Oh my God. That's a hockey puck. It's falling over.
Needs a bigger stabilizer.
Get Robert chair.
Wow. Get a tweener tail on this thing. Karen, you're getting all mushy pies here. Okay, let's go. All right, he's my...
After we eat.
Older than dirt.
If this cake goes in my damn lap,
You'll find a new use for duct tape.
real men do not eat birthday cake. Real men shop at Home Depot. Yep, it's sliding again. I'm gonna.
Okay, just pass me all the plates.
You want me to level the plate for you?
We gotta level up. Get the inclinometer.
We get the poke shims out.
Yeah, get some board. Anybody that doesn't know this loving family of mine.
What's that? Sign, please, for Rob.
Because you can only get.
Thank you.
That's right.
Poke shims.
That's right. That's right. This is part of being a pro stunt flyer. You gotta have a family to work for.
Okay, you want to pass me
Famous.
No, it's payback.
Paybacks are a bitch.
Wait, should I just pass the pieces?
Yeah, pass
Come
me.
on, it's cool if it's all over this. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, what a joke. It's a plane.
See, he knew that right away.
From Sherry and Steve and Chris. Happy birthday, Grandpa. From me and Chris. Is that a bird?
It's a cardinal.
A cardinal.
Great.
Give me a kiss.
It's a turkey. Does that mean you
A turkey? You think I'm a turkey? You think Grandpa's a turkey? Ah!
Okay, let's see what else we have.
Oh, I gotta say,
Ladies,
I gotta
we
say.
have a couple of gifts here.
Okay. Give up.
Did he throw this by himself?
Has to go to the
How are your grandfather's birthday card?
I see what I got for money and it's
Did you wrap this, Chris?
Yeah.
He's gonna be out.
You took care of all this on your own.
and he wrapped everything himself too.
Wow.
Chris, this is great. Now listen, anybody watching this video, this is the hat that the winner of the team trials is going to wear. Notice it matches the red plane. Watch this. I can't put it on. Noel Walker, you're in deep shit. There's no way you can miss the wing over pull up with this hat. This is just... Did you pick this hat yourself, Chris? Hey,
No, Mommy did.
my grandson, Chris.
He wanted one that, what did it say on it? It had a bird on it. Eagle?
Eagles? It's Cardinals. Eagles is Glenn Medder's plane.
We don't. You wanted the Eagles.
Oh, Eagles. No. It's not Chris. No Eagles. Cardinals. Oh, good.
Goes off. Oh, good.
Warning, the Surgeon General has determined that bothering me before I've had my first cup of coffee may be hazardous to your health.
That's true.
Mommy picked that out.
Mommy picked it out. You think I'm grouchy in the morning when I don't have my coffee? You're right. Okay, what are we doing next year?
This is from Stacy.
This is from you and Stacy? What great presents. By the way, Chris made me his own card. Let me show you the card. My grandson, he drew the airplane. You can see that, I'm sure. And it says from Sherry, Chris, and Steve. It says, happy birthday, Grandpa. And it says, there's a little cardinal down at the corner. Isn't that cool?
And you're a turkey.
Hey, we don't say that on video. People are supposed to respect you. Gerald Shamp's probably rolling over in his grave right now. All right, let's look at the next present. We're going to get on to the team trials right after this. So don't... Brother
I was going to
P-Touch.
get him next.
All right, I need this. I'm going to mark all my Brother P-Touch things with labels, like that psychiatrist.
Who's going to be that guy?
I'm going to Brother P-Touch.
You got to help me with this
You got to help me with this problem. I got a Brother
He's going to
P-Touch.
label the kids.
I'm going to label the kids. I'm going to label
He's going to label the kids too.
Real men P-Touch. Real men get a Brother P-Touch.
I'll be worried when you get it around the Q-Touch. It's okay.
Okay, wait, I can't get it out of the
He's going to
box.
label everything.
We'll take this out,
I can't.
and we'll have... No, don't.
Don't, Chris.
Because we got to make labels.
Furniture and the mailbox.
We're going to put labels, Brother P-Touch.
It's going to label it like door.
Door, right, shoe, left, right.
But everything's going to say P-Touch. He's going to label everything P-Touch. You got to specify here.
Now, this is part of learning to be a sunflower. You got to get a brother P-Touch. Howard Stern says you got a brother.
Okay.
We got a mom.
Last gift.
Last gift. Oh my God. This is the diamond ring?
Look at him.
Again.
Look at you.
What?
Look at you.
What? You're supposed to respect me.
With that hat on?
I support you guys. You're supposed to respect me. Seiko. Seiko, my favorite brand of book. Oh, something fell out. Oh, the batteries. All right. These are ones I had at the flea market for $12. $8.95. All right, now, for the retarded among us, how do we get this on? A watch, but I can never wear it because you can't open it up.
When do you have to go back to the doctor for a shot?
I have to go for a shot.
Start on the bottom and make it better.
Okay, this is the watch that the winner of the team trials is going to wear. I'll let Paul Walker wear it later. No respect. Oh, that looks nice. Is that a real
Your
jewel?
plastic one, huh?
I like my
He wears an $8 plastic watch every
A
night.
man with my income potential, and I
Real
don't
men wear plastic watches.
Real men wear Seiko. Look, it's too big. I'm not a real
We
man.
can have it fixed.
I gotta gain
How many
weight.
didn't have it fixed? You can adjust things.
No, you get links from
I need to gain weight.
Yeah, say go to the lounge when you realize.
Okay, thank you for everybody for everything. Thank you, people, for putting up with my birthday party. On to the team trials. Victory is at hand.
Well, just a quick word. Thanks for putting up with our birthday party. We all had a good time, and hope you enjoyed sharing it with us. Now, we had a real neat day of mail today. In fact, this came from Steve Busso. Now, we have Cardinal Frisbees. Can you imagine this? Unbelievable. If anybody wants one of these, call Steve Busso. Anybody that's watched the Nats video knows when Paul had a problem. He put his hand in a carbon prop. Maybe we should alter this little picture and chop the fingertip off. Anyway, while I was with Win in the hospital, we had a little talk about Lionel trains, and I sent him a bunch of videos that I have for Lionel trains, and he sent me some of his little Christmas set. Just want to share this real quick. Then Win was mentioning that he had a Christmas a set under his Christmas tree, which he sent me here. Just a couple quick pictures. We got some really neat stuff coming up, including some film, some video of Paul Walker flying his B-17 before it crashed. Some of the only footage in existence. Now, I know this isn't a Lionel train video, just to show you that people share common interests. And I've said this over and over again. And while I did get to spend some time with Win, I found him to be interested in a lot of the same things I am. One of them was Lionel trains. There's a photo Win enclosed of his jukebox that he has right. I guess this is in his house. Neat stuff. This is one of the things I've always wanted in my house too. I obviously don't have it yet. Anybody out there has one, send it to me. I got a picture of Win's workshop here with some of his equipment hanging on a wall. And the Win Paul finishing friend. Now, I guess you've seen my wheelbarrow finishing friend on tape 26. It's a little more sophisticated here. Anyway, the whole point is when you get to know other people in the event, you find out they have the same basic interests and hobbies you do. It's just more things you can share and more fun you can have. A couple of pictures from Frank Paskovich. Frank's the one that, if you've been following the videos, came up with the spackle idea for fillets. That's worked very well, by the way. Frank's latest creation. He's using the full Pro Stun product finishing system. I'll get some more pictures of this later. Okay, we're going to go on now to copy some of this footage that we have from Paul Walker. Now, just a little prelude to what we're going to have on here. This is footage of Paul Walker flying the B-17. It's not really great quality because it's a third-generation copy, but it's some of the only footage that's available in the time that Paul had his B-17. And obviously, I'm a lover of semi-scale planes. By the way, I do have the rest of the planes over here. Now we have all the planes except the big sweeper right in the house. This is some of the, I guess it's going to be the rare footage of Paul actually flying the B-17, and we have, I guess it's about 15 minutes of it. We're going to try to include it on this video. I would venture to guess, if anybody out there, this was donated by John Lytle of Washington. If anybody else has some footage of Paul's B-17, I'd sure like to see it. Again, anybody that could donate some footage, I just think it's such a cool thing, the B-17, and it's a shame that he did crash it. He said he's going to rebuild it for next year's Nats, and I hope he does get it together. This ought to really be, I think it's one of the coolest things anyway, when you can get a real semi-scale. I'm sure Al Rabe would be, Frank McMillan, myself, other people that love semi-scale would just love it. Anybody that's into the semi-scale thing, and I can't tell you over and over again how much I love semi-scale planes. It's just that I think the B-17 probably is the ultimate. Now let's take a look at the footage. Again, I'm telling you, it's not the great.
colors.
Then we get a little engagement from a neat alien.
He's got time, I think. Well, tell him to stop until he stop rolling.
Now I want to especially thank John Lytle for that great look at Paul Walker's B-17, and I want to obviously congratulate Paul on an awesome accomplishment. And as one person who can fully appreciate it, believe me, I can. Now back to our program. One of the things we're going to be testing in the weeks to come, and we'll wait till after the team trials, is we have extended the elevators a little bit on this to give us a little more leverage at the back. This is one of the tests Big Jim has decided he'd like to try. We'll be filming this in the near future, I hope. And we're going to we have the Wiley engine already in stock. Jim has already looked at it, and we're going to try to maybe use it in this plane and maybe in the Harley. I don't know which one. We're going to set up one of the planes with the Wiley, and we'll get some information out to you on that real soon. Wiley is thinking about working for Fox, and if he does, he'd like to come up with what we hope will be a real stunt engine, not one of these make-believe RC conversions. And what we really hope will happen is we'll sometime in the near future have a Fox, either a 45, a 50, a 60, or whatever that suits the stunt needs of the world. And we hope we can be part of that development program with them. Now, one of our final projects, just want to mention this in conjunction with the beginning of the video. This plane now has the VMAX 46 in it, and we're going to take that out and make it the backup plane. Get the motor that Big Jim is hopefully going to have tomorrow when we go out to Flushing. Put this in here so that we have a 60 backup package that'll fly pretty much like the red plane should we need to use it. And that's the plan going into the team trials, is the red plane as the #1 plane, green plane is #2, 2 Big Jim Hemis. Hopefully get the props working right, a set of lines, a set of solids, a set of braideds, and be ready to go. And probably the last project on our list this year before the winter sets in, or before we run out of energy and time and whatever else, is we'd like to convert the Red Baron back to a low compression carbon fiber 2-blade Prop 60 setup, much like we have been using on the other ships. And that'll give us 3 60 ships and 4 pipe planes and a plane with the Wiley in it, a total of 7 planes to fool with all winter. And we hope you're really enjoying and picking up some of the information and some of the things we convert back and forth. Remember, one of the things that's important is we try to use both systems. We try not to be just the pipe king and just the 60 king, but give you, all of these planes have had 46s, 60s, 40s, pipes, no pipes, mufflers. And we give you a variety of the options that you can try in your own plane and how they've worked out for us. In a variety of sizes and shapes of planes, and there's not many people can do that, and there's nobody can do it on video. So if you can use that information to your advantage, that's really great. Weekend before the team trials, we're out at Flushing. It looks like a real nice day.
60 pounds of weight around his belt.
Yeah. Paul Walker has a weight belt around and lead sneakers.
He better take a trip to Burger King if he knows what I know.
I think he's getting fat anyway. But really, make sure you mail that to Jim tonight.
Right to Lodge James.
Lord James will mail it to you.
No, you don't mail things. You keep them. He can't trust you.
I'm going to watch this and I'm going to say, is that Paul Walker?
Is that Paul
Is that Paul Walker? Oh my God. Listen to some of the commentary in the background too. It's cool. Oh my God, I'm B-17.
The B-17 flying.
I would like to see some guys that served in World War II. That thing does a wing over and pulls out inverted.
Is that Paul Walker? Hey, can't you watch this in that machine?
Nah, you can't see anything.
In there you can't see it?
Nah, you see black and white, the thing is this big.
Yeah, I know.
92
93 ounces. You got to be a real man to fly 93. How many was mine? 138?
Yeah, 160.
And no weight belt. Here's the weight belt. That's a nice weight belt right there. The Paul Walker approved weight belt.
I'm on the ham a day diet. 1 ham and 2 loaves of bread a day.
1 pork chop an hour. Back to 1987. Back to the future.
Back to the past.
Jurassic stunt.
Jurassic stunt.
They already have Jurassic stunt.
Yeah. The only way to go. What we're going to try to do is I'll move my 125-pound foot.
Put down, knock him down, drag out in 1 year.
Well, that depends on how many lumps he's got on his behind.
How high is it, Mike? 80?
It's 79.
Ah, piece of cake.
There's the potato head. I got 2 of them. How do you think I know you were 35? I don't know if they don't make them. I bet you could get them.
this mouth. Open that mouth, Jimmy. That's Jimmy Walker. Hey, wasn't there really a Jim Walker at one time?
Wasn't there? Of course there was. He used to fly 3 airplanes at once.
Oh,
One on his hat.
3 B-17s at once.
One on his hat. About 57, 58.
Is he dead now?
All good. He used to go out flying with Mike.
That's what killed him.
That's what killed him.
He went motorcycle riding with Mike and went off the road. Mr. Potato Pipe.
Hey, what happened to that guy that ate a lot of pizza and loved tune pipe?
He'll be
next
back.
week.
The week's not over.
He'll be back next week.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, whoa, Jimmy baby. You better make the pipe a little shorter, put an extra potato in that.
He's got too many potatoes in his pipe.
Here's one for you, Wendy. Need this?
This is the new tune pipe potato.
This is the new tune pipe Wendy potato. If he doesn't use all of this potato in his pipe, he takes the rest home and he boils it.
Right.
And he makes his dinner out of it. This is a Wendy tune pipe, $5 a pound.
If he doesn't want to use it, we'll send it to Bobby Hunt.
Oh, Bobby Hunt will take it, no problem.
Well, Bobby Hunt's got one already.
Oh, man, you guys are cruel. Cruel, cruel, but so true. Hey, Nancy! Hey!
If the border goes too fast, put a potato in it.
Put a zucchini in it.
It depends on which is cheaper by the pound.
We're back from a day of flushing. Clean up the equipment, of course. Evaluate how the day went. And we'll call Big Jim tonight, see how what his impression of the day was. I'm sure he was very happy. We only have one weekend left before we leave for the team trials, and we're kind of happy with the way this guy's working with the 60. Yeah, back down at the shop here, and what we're just going to do is go over the whole plane, check all the bolts, get everything prepared, get a coat of wax on it, and look forward to maybe getting 1 or 2 more practice sessions before we actually leave for the team trials.
Saturday, week before team trial. This is Tradition Super Tiger 60. We got about 92 degrees today, about an 8 to 10 mile an hour breeze. Pretty strong day to fly. the Saturday just before the team trials, and thanks to Jose, we're getting a couple of flights on video here. I'll try to get one of his. Super Tiger 60, 135 pounds of compression. Settled in on the biggest of the carbon props and the one with the flattest. It is really windy here, in case you haven't figured it out. Really hot, really windy, just awful conditions. And we're just trying to get a setup that may help us out at Indy deal with those kind of conditions. This is about as hot as it gets in this part of the country. We're pushing 100 degrees here today. Now what we have out at the field today, and it's worth putting on video, it's worth mentioning, is this ship here has the low pitch 12.5, 4 1/4 Brian Ether prop, running the motor a little harder than I am. I have the 13-inch. What we're really trying to do is get the pitch down as low as we can reasonably to control the windup. And believe me, it is a breezy, turbulent, bowling balls blowing across the field day. You can see the wing rocking. Now Jose's plane is a little bit heavier than mine, not much, an ounce or two. Mine's 73, I think his is 76. So what we're trying to do is go back and forth with the props and get some input on. Now I've had this prop on my plane already. My plane has a little lower compression than this one. This is a motor that used to belong to Bob Barron, and he returned it to Big Jim as an unusable motor, and it's just running like a Rolex watch here today. So I don't know, Bob, I think it was your nose construction. Anyway, I have a very low compression and very low pitch on that prop, and we're trying to make that setup work. What I did, I went in on the Rabe rudder 2 clicks to make up for the prop diameter. It seems like just about the right amount. So by the end of this day, we'll know if we have a real usable setup or not. I opened the mail today, and I got the clear Teflon tuned pipe, or untuned pipe, down at the house. We can take a look at that when we get back at the house. I got a whole box of new props from Brian Ether, including a new 3-blade that he wants me to test, give him some feedback on it, maybe getting a mold made on that. It's a wide blade 3-blade. And of course we're having some real good luck with the 2-blade on the 60, 5% fuel. Especially under these are really bowling ball conditions. This is about as nasty as it gets at Flushing. Because not only is the wind changing and moving, but it's also turbulent from coming right over the trees. Very blustery. Now what Jose has done is put on when he put the smaller diameter prop, this is a 1/2 inch smaller than the 13, it's 12.5. Took out some tip weight, and that combination seems to have really brought the plane to life. He's running a Merco muffler, and I'm just running a Pro Stunt tongue on mine. Nothing really high tech there. Needle valve setting has been consistent all day, hasn't changed all day. The lap times have pretty much stayed the same, even as it's gotten hotter and hotter. sad note, and I really, things that kind of make you want to cry. Billy Suarez had the cable in his handle brake and lost the white plane, so the Checkerboard Express is not with us. It won't be with us anymore. If you have some video of it, you know it was a super good plane. And Billy was just coming into his own as far as competition goes. He was ready to make a big move. And here it is a week before the team trials, and to have that unfortunate thing happen. It's one of the sad things in our hobby is planes come and planes go on a moment's notice. Oh, a little exciting pull out there. Now Jose, if you haven't noticed by looking at the videos over and over again, Jose is probably the single most improved flyer that we have in our group this whole year. He's really come along. He's settled in on the 60 with the PM, the low pitch prop. Pretty much the setup I'm going to use at the team trials. Seems real happy with it so far. I think one of the handicaps he has right here is he's flying on 018s. And at the team trials, of course, you can use 15s. Even though it might be risky to somewhat using the 15s, we're going to give it a shot. And of course, we have a good backup plane, so we can take the chance. Got a spare tank from Woody Midgley in the mail too, so we pretty much have our stuff ready to go. Dave will be down Tuesday, and we'll be getting ready for the team trials. Of course, we'll videotape it, and hope you enjoy sharing it with us. Jose Modesto on a blustery Flushing day. You can even see the humidity in the air here. It's terrible. Mike's here. Now we got a nice crew anyway. We're expecting Jim any minute. Of course, there's one big bump on the field right about here that we're trying to avoid, and then we're trying to drop the planes in right after the bump. So the landings really don't count here. Now, one of the things we're going to try on this right now is Jose's taking some nose weight out, and we've moved the handle spacing closer together now, so we're going to try to get a flight on this. It felt like he had a lot more handle spacing than I do on the red plane by a tremendous amount, so by moving the CG back and narrowing down the handle, we may even get more performance, and we'll have to get some flights on it before we see. But again, this is one of the reasons Jose's gotten better in such a short amount of time. He's not afraid to make these changes. You can't stay with the same thing over and over and over and expect things to get better. Nancy's getting ready for her flying lesson here. I don't know, Nancy. Had a few crashes today. I don't know. Now you can see we really have a good breeze blowing this afternoon. I want to get one of Mike's flights on video too. Mike, of course, Big Jim Super Tiger 60. Low pitch wood prop. Merco muffler with the guts ground out of it. Hey, somebody just stole my van. Get back here. Around here, you always look too when you see another van go by. Joe Ortiz giving him a launch. And we are really roasting out here. It's after 1 o'clock, and we are really roasting. I don't think we're going to make it much longer today. Again, we hope by the end of this weekend to be ready for the team trials. Have everything packed up. Get Midway down here Tuesday and get ready for our big ride cross country. The big ride to Indiana for the second time this year. Dave has promised to be my personal coach this year. And John, Dave, and I will be driving out. It should be a good fun time. We will look forward to having a good time. We really need a time away. All this sheetrock work we've been doing. Oh, so sick of insulation and sheetrock, you can't believe it. Put up 500 feet of BX in the house yesterday in the upstairs room. I'm sick of looking at BX, sick of looking at wire nuts, sick of looking at spackle, sick of looking at the inside of houses on a nice day. I'm going to look at the inside of a Super Tiger 60 here. Anyway, I hope some of the information, hey, I hope you enjoyed the birthday party. See what kind of shenanigans go on in my family. Most of all, I guess I just hope you enjoy sharing our little adventures in the world of stunt. Hope you join Tampa, get the newsletter, enjoy getting to know some of the other people in the event, in the hobby. A lot of cool people. You get any water, Jose? We're roasting out here and dying from lack of moisture. You could die if you don't have something to drink for 5 minutes. Mike Rogers, Larchmont, New York. One of the Chazinski twins. The Chazinski triplets. The Chazinski quintuplets. What are you, Mike? We want to know. Bob Lampione with the 1993 concourse winner here. Now what Bob has done, he started with the OPS, gave up on that, went to the 46 VMAX, gave up on that, and he has a Big Jim Super Tiger 51 with a Pro Stunt tongue muffler in here now. Low pitch Brian Eat the Prop, and it's made it a new plane. If you've looked back at some of the old videos and see how bad this thing used to fly with any of the pipe setups and how good it flies now, plus it's 4 ounces lighter without all the pipe hardware. The 51's a super light engine, and when it's decompressed, it can be as good as the best. don't have much tape left, but we do want to mention some of the things. Bob is totally, I hope, finished anyway with all the VMAXs and pipes and things. A plane at this weight is really not practical unless you push the engine way past the limit. If you're going to go with that setup, you got to make the plane paper light, super light. Keep it under 65 ounces. Or the motor's just working too hard. So there, the end of this tape, and for anybody that hasn't seen the beginning of the tape, the reasoning that we gave when we went to the 60 program, gone back to it. Several other people, Bob Lampione included, have gone back to traditional setups in an attempt to get more reliability and more practical flying time out of it. Just would like to get, in my own case, I have a limited amount of practice time, and having that limited time, knowing I don't have to adjust the needle on every flight or move the pipe or whatever, it makes me maximize the amount of practice time I have. I'm only going to have 2 days at the team trials to get ready, and I'd want to use those 2 days flying, not experimenting and dialing things in and out and up and down. And plus all the money I save, I guess I'll just buy another house. Anyway, enough sarcasm. We are real happy with the way the red plane worked out. We're happy that we won the Coxsackie meet. Glad to see Bob's gone face to face with reality here. And if he sticks with this and gets used to it, no reason he won't be competitive for the rest of the contest season. Or even at the team trials. He has more practice time than I do coming to him before the team trials to get ready. And anybody that doesn't understand what an important part of a stunt ship the motor run is, what an absolute necessity that the motor run the same every time, that you don't get lean runs at the end of the flight, you don't get tremendous changes, or it doesn't get that it's super hard to set the needle. On a day like today when it's 100+ degrees, you don't run into overheating problems. It's just a whole different ball game. It's what stunt is supposed to be. Whoa! Oh, the Trzynski quintuplets here. He almost hit the ground. Bobby, baby. Bobby Trzynski. And you can see by these flyaway maneuvers, the wind is real. It doesn't look so bad until you get out to the middle of the circle. But it's blustery. Downright blustery. Saturday before team trials, Flushing Meadows Park. Flying tradition.